Okay, so it's time for us to go ahead and create some sick and juicy content. Now, I'm hanging out with the guys from Rivalry, and we're going to be doing a video here, which is something I've never done, and gambling is something I've never done. So this could be interesting. Everything before introductions are made. First, I'll introduce myself, of course, Alex the Machine. Before we introduce the guys from Rivalry, though, I do need to specify that this is going to be, I'm going to be compensated for this. This is sponsored content, but they've just basically said, grill us, bully us, ask us anything you'd want to ask and what your customers would want to ask. So this isn't going to be all smiles and sunshine and rainbows, at least from my side. And we'll see what the guys from Rivalry have to say. And they are here. Hello, gentlemen on the leather couch. Internet interview in progress. Let's do introductions though, because I mean I don't necessarily know all your names. So let's do a sweep from left to right. I don't know. Introduce yourselves.
All right. My name is Ryan White. I'm CTO of Rivalry, so I head up all the tech and oversee the development of new features and functionality.
Okay, awesome.
I'm Kevin. I handle a lot of the marketing and content and setting up sweet deals like this.
That's you.
I work on the sportsbook and do some product design.
Sportsbook.
Steven, COO, co-founder with these guys, and do a lot of the finance stuff as well.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, and this is how many people are in your team in total? Are we looking at it?
No. So this is essentially most of the management team.
Okay.
We have a team of developers that work out of Toronto, and then we have content creators that are global. We engage with a number of different people. So our support staff are also in different locations to help support people in different regions and languages.
We also have a presence in the Isle of Man, so you need a legal presence in the Isle of Man. We have compliance and back office and anti-money laundering and all that kind of stuff there as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I think this video is going to be so interesting, because gambling, betting in any shape or form is like very much not taboo, I guess, but it seems like it's got a negative air around it, just because there is a negative side to gambling in its entirety, as well as, of course, a positive side. So, I mean, I think my first question to you is just really simple. Why would anyone bet? Why bet?
I mean, our philosophy is pretty simple. We just think watching matches is more fun with money on the line. We're not trying to have people go and throw a whole bunch of money on a match and blow their salary. But if you're already watching a CS:GO match or a Dota match and it's your favorite team playing, that's already pretty fun. But if you throw $5 on the line, it's just that much more exciting. And that's our basic thesis. It's just more fun to watch with a few money.
Yeah. And you kind of, is there a way, like, it doesn't make business sense to limit how much someone can bet, right? As in, like, I totally get the £5 thing. Like, I would chuck £5 on a match and I'd enjoy that. Is there any sense in limiting it just because of that negative side?
Yeah, definitely. So from a business sense, you'll see a lot of people out there not putting any limits in.
Yeah.
Not only do we have a regulatory requirement to have responsible gambling limits.
Okay.
We also we're more excited about the people putting $5 on it. We're more excited about having lots of fans and reaching many, many people. We're not excited about having one guy come in and drop $1,000 on a match. That just doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, and I guess if you're talking business, if he loses that 1,000, he's probably not coming back. Whereas if that kid wins 5, loses 5, he's going to be hanging around.
Yeah, we want our goal is for people to use the site more like a Netflix subscription.
Sure.
$5 or $10 a month, great. You lost $5 or $10 a month. We want you to essentially, hopefully, for our business, we are.
Yeah.
You lose $5 a month, everybody kind of wins. You're excited. Everything's awesome.
And someone somewhere has won $5 a month as well. That's the way it works. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting. Because I mean, for me, like, as in, I've never done it. I think I once put £5 on a horse at the Grand National. That's about as exciting as it's got for me. And losing £200 in 5 minutes in Vegas, never again. So for me, I guess I didn't necessarily. I don't think I didn't do it because I didn't want to. I think I did it just because I'd heard so many kind of negative stories about, yeah, this guy treated it like an addiction kind of thing. And I know you guys are doing all this above board stuff. I'm interested, is there, you kind of already insinuated there are some regulations and hoops you have to jump through to make sure you're like completely in line with regulations?
Yeah, the regulations are they're a minimum standard. We
Yeah.
tend to enforce much higher standards as our product continues to grow and we get more users and we're able to analyze more data. We hope to be able to help people and
Absolutely.
that are becoming problem gamblers and work that into the product.
So I guess the big question. Oh, sorry, Kevin.
Go ahead. Yeah, it's like it's part of our brand promise too. Like it's in our best business sense to have people come and drop 5,000 on every match. Like that's where we make a lot of money, but that's just not our customer. We would, like Brian said, have a whole bunch of people betting little amounts, spreading the word. Like whales should probably go elsewhere to do it, and we're just not. That's just not our demographic, which is an interesting approach and one we hope is a good one.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what we're going after.
And you kind of lead perfectly into my next question, which I mean, you can direct whoever can answer this best. Is what is different with Rivalry? Because I mean, there are like I mean, if I just typed in Counter-Strike betting into Google right now, there's going to be 1,000 sites from 1,000 different countries in 1,000 different languages, and I don't know who on earth I'm supposed to trust. What makes Rivalry any different?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a couple different things. The one is our license and our regulation, right? So Steven can probably speak to this more about the protection that we have for players, right?
Yeah, so I think like the one thing we did is we got an Isle of Man license, which I think is, well, we can talk about it a little bit more later, but if you look at the licensing regimes, a lot of the sites out there are licensed in Curacao, some other licensed jurisdictions. So the Isle of Man, from a fiduciary and an ethical and moral and player protection obligation perspective, is the highest above board. It's the license that takes the longest to get, has the highest level of due diligence and standard that the founders are held to. Guys with clean backgrounds, ethical backgrounds, and past dealings in their professional lives.
Damn.
Took us a really long time to get it. So
full background checks for any investor.
Yeah.
Wait, so all of you guys have had to basically get your whole life scrubbed through before you can even think about making a gambling company?
I can let people in on it a little bit. It's like, myself, Ryan, and Kevin, and there's one other founder, Steve, an older Steve who's not here. It was about a 30-day due diligence package. It took us about 30 days to compile.
Jesus.
800 some pages.
Yeah, it's like, so the complete application was about 700 pages for us, and then each of us as individuals had to do about 100-page personal packages of our personal and family's financial.
That's so much work.
All of our investments. We had to send monthly statements from our main bank transactional account that they review and make sure you're not doing anything weird. And then Interpol sends you a letter. You have to fill out a whole form with Interpol. They do a check into you. So you won't find that in any other jurisdiction.
Sure.
I think as the market matures a little bit, they're going to trend toward people that are upholding a really high obligation, which is the licensing regime that you have will connote the standard that you're.
Okay.
So they
sorry.
They look into the founders, right? But they also maintain audits of all of the players' funds. So when someone deposits $1, we have to, by regulation, protect that dollar. It's in a separate account. We can't touch it. Your funds are yours, and you can always access them at any time.
So you're not doing any of that funny business where it's in your account, but you have to, you can't withdraw until you've got £150 in there, and you never get there, kind of thing.
We didn't go spend that on you, hoping they don't withdraw, and
Right.
That's the biggest thing, is right. A lot of the bigger poker sites in history and gambling sites in history have gone bankrupt because they didn't have that protection. So they start spending their players' balances on marketing, and then there's a run on the bank, and the whole thing's a rip. It's regulated to prevent that.
So if I win £15, I have that £15 regardless of when I withdraw it.
Okay. A separate bank account that we're not allowed to touch.
It's so like, so my professional background, one of my other partners was in the securities industry in Canada, so we used to work in investment banking and all that kind of stuff. We found that gambling is really similar. It's almost like a bank. You have to have all client funds completely segregated, ring fence, all this kind of stuff completely protected.
Right. Interesting. So without you guys, and I'm sure you probably love to do this, but perhaps not here with a camera in your face, but talking of like the competition that's out there right now, like what are your thoughts on the sites similar to Rivalry, perhaps with the different licenses? Perhaps you're putting a karambit instead of £5 on a match. What's your thoughts on the space right now before you're stepping in?
Well, there's two sides of it. There's skins, unregulated, then there's regulated.
Yeah.
So
Okay, can we start with the dirty unregulated karambit gambling? Because I'm interested to know your thoughts.
Those guys can do anything. Like they have the biggest challenge with the unregulated stuff is they're accepting gamblers that are in illegal jurisdictions, so U.S. persons
Or underage.
or underage.
Yeah.
And they have no player protection. So there's no even attempt to limit people's losses, like not even close. So you got a 16, 18-year-old kid swiping a credit card, buying skins from Steam, and then trading them to a gambling site. It's just not going to end well.
And the owners of those sites can just take the skins and run, and it's not illegal. It's
No.
immoral and unethical, but it's
And
not
you
illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you also find like the domicile of the company. So, for example, if you go to Rivalry and you go on social media, you can see all of our faces. You can see us now. You know who we are. You'll find a lot of these other sites. You have no clue who's behind it.
Or it comes out and they make a YouTube apology video.
Yeah. But it's usually it's a shell company and a shell company and a shell company in an Eastern European country. So they're in a place where nobody's going after them. So it's just there's zero protection from a user perspective.
So this is probably a bit of a side conversation, but just because I feel like you can answer this better than anyone else I have around. The conversation about like how does that ever, like how can you regulate that? Like is this something we're just going to have to accept because skins have monetary value? We all know that. Have you looked into that?
Steam can just shut it down. They have full control and just.
I like my skins.
We just what's that?
I like my skins.
Yeah, but they have monetary value. Like
Yeah.
I mean, Steam has to play the game as if it were cryptocurrency. Like you have to think of skins as if they were Ethereum. Like they have intrinsic value. People are for value, so you have to track the movement of that value, right? At least on a blockchain, you know where it's going. You can track it publicly. The only person who knows where the skins go is Valve and Steam, and they're essentially complicit in this whole game until they decide.
Until they get in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge money for them, right? There's no reason to shut it down. There's no reason.
Sure. But I mean, there is a great deal of. Sorry.
They're effectively a payment service provider.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
That's the problem I think I see here is that, you know, you guys have a distinct advantage in the fact that you've basically come in and said, hi guys, this is our face, this is our name, and we've done everything. Because I don't understand the gambling licensing. And like, for example, you mentioned Isle of Man. I'm sure the majority of the sites that I'd find on Google aren't registered in the same way you are, but I mean, you've already made it clear how difficult it was. But like, is that what the mainstream like sports gambling websites are using as well, like an Isle of Man kind of?
So
What do you get for doing that?
Yeah, the bigger sites for sure use them.
Okay.
Yeah, if you take like a cross section of the top, call it 25 to 50 global sports books like Bet365, Pinnacle, Betway, they'll probably be Malta, UK, or Isle of Man, or all three, or two of the three, or whatever it is. Most of the listed companies in the UK, like publicly listed companies, will be the same. A lot of the ones for esports betting you'll find will be licensed in Curacao. So to put it in perspective, you can effectively get a Curacao license by you just pay a fee to the regulator. You can get it in a couple of weeks or a month.
Okay.
Very limited due diligence. It's a much looser regulatory regime, so much easier to get, kind of lower hanging fruit. I think, though, to your point, and this is something we struggle with, is we try to do everything above board and be extremely compliant, and we know the meaning of how we've done things and why I've done things and how we're trying to benefit the community. But there's an education process because 99% of people will not know the difference between Curacao or Isle of Man, or not even know where on the site they should look at that.
I raise my hand. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so I think there's going to be an education piece to be had right now for sure over the next little bit. So
well, and players really don't care, right? So we have to compete with someone who can go to Steam, buy a skin, and deposit it on a website and gamble. Don't have to put an address in, a name in.
no KYC, nothing.
Yeah.
Put friction there, right? So if you think of like
as a user, it's better.
As a user, you're like, oh, I don't have to do anything. I'm fine.
And the chances are they probably have skins already. It's not like like in their mind they're not spending money because they've already got it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fake money.
Right.
Yeah.
It's fake money.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
Like kind of paradigm because we were doing things above board and correct, but it's almost handicapping us in a way currently because many other sites, whether it's skins or a Curacao license, you can just VPN, go gamble, no problem.
Sure.
They may or may not get in trouble. They might get in trouble in a year or two. And we have to, collect quite a bit of information to comply with regulations, which protects players, and that's the way we're going to do business.
Sure.
I was just saying the educational process of letting people know why we're doing this and why do I have to put in my name? Well, it's because we're actually making sure you're protected. And That's it.
So yeah, so for your your USP, your unique selling point out of Rivalry, the reason they would choose you over, a quick type in your nickname and you can make money and put money on get match would be security. Is that the kind of bottom line?
For now, that's it. I mean, we're operating more as a software business than a gambling site. So our goal was to get something out into market and test and see what people like.
Okay.
We've launched the ability to bet on matches before they start, pre-match betting. So if you have a team, and we think that we want to make something that people could, as fans, participate in. So if you're a Fnatic fan or you're a Cloud9 fan, place $5 on one of those on your team, good to go.
Right.
There's a lot of features that we still need to build.
Can't talk about. I'm guessing.
We're happy to.
We don't have a policy about not talking about things. We just
and it's iterative. We're trying to listen to customers and make things that are awesome for fans.
Yeah. So we want to make things that are more fan based and create more about you knowing the game, knowing the sport, and being good at watching. We want people to watch more esports. That's really our goal, is that you watch more esports. We have as many of the matches as possible on our site.
Right.
So you can watch it.
So what I can kind of in a way envision is the reason that we break 1.8 million viewers at a major, because you get a chance of a loot crate, right? That's like one of the things. So I'm guessing in your mind, the viewership would increase because there's a chance of your rivalry bet winning and knowing it's legitimate.
Same thing. We can drop crates too.
Sure.
We have a license to do actual RNG. So not like Blizzard where they can hide the RNG. Ours has to get tested by a third-party regulator and make sure it's legit.
Right.
The loot crate that they're getting is actually legit, right? So
interesting.
Yeah, I think there's a really tight correlation between people having money on something, especially sports, and then the popularity of a sport. So I think the two do go together. But also, it's just like having skin in the game, a little, an alignment of incentives when you're watching something. It just gets you a little more into it, a little more excited, and all that kind of stuff.
Questions just popped up, and this kind of wraps back around to what you're talking about, but with competing with the other guys, is that, I mean, have you done any market research? I mean, in the general conversation, I was like, yeah, but Counter-Strike fans, they're all 14-year-old Swedish kids, in which case those viewers, they look great, but they're not going to be able to bet, right, legally.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, when I walk around a LAN event or an event, there's lots of over 18s. I don't know. Have you looked into this at all?
So that's why we think this market is it's very new, and they're the first people that are of age to gamble, right? No one's parents were Fnatic fans. No one's parents were Cloud9 fans.
True.
They have parents who are Man United fans or Dodger fans. Like, people have been fans of teams for a while, but there's no one who's going to go bet on their dad's esports. But that's starting to happen now. Like, those people are having kids now. Like, they're now old enough. They're 20, 30 years old, going to matches, watching matches. They probably don't go to matches because, kids, you're not going to really go to so many matches. But
yeah, you'd be surprised. You would be surprised.
But even the 16-year-old that was a fan 5 years ago is now of age, maybe has a job, finished college, like they're becoming the ability to legally bet on matches. So it's
you're describing me, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. We're, I'm 27. Like, a lot of our team are younger guys. I think a lot of us were in this boat, and it's a lot of why I think you've seen this turning point in esports. Is there was a bunch of people that basically their income was their parents' credit card and an allowance, and they've now switched to having an income. And that generational change has shifted the economics in esports as a whole, which includes betting, along with people going to events, the ability to put on events, merchandise sales, economics for esports organizations. Like, everything kind of has risen together, right? So I think there is a group there that is willing and able to bet now, or interested in it as well.
So the next scary question, gentlemen, is match fixing, because, as you know, especially in Counter-Strike, it's received a whole lot of press, and there's a whole lot of existence of it in esports. I mean, the list is endless. There's some Koreans in prison for it. There's players who could be fantastic, not able to play, etc., scandal, and that was all for the skins. Yeah. So my question to you is, first things first, how on earth are you going to combat match fixing? And I feel like this is going to be a 4-person answer, but take it away.
Yeah.
I mean, just the fact that it actually helps match fixing, because.
So one thing you'll find is that in an unregulated space, it's easier for bad actors to operate and perform match fixing. So especially if you have an operator operating a sports book with skins, and they've got a bunch of handle on one side, they're incentivized to help the match fixing happen, right? So the operator can be complicit. There's a lot of different avenues that could happen, right? What we've found is not only in esports, but in traditional sports as well, bookmakers that operate legally and together are able to detect match fixing much within their books. You can find irregularities. You can find, when people have to KYC to get the money out, you can track the money is trackable, traceable. Everything is above board. So
it's like in the U.S., I know people like the bookmakers in Vegas help define match fixing before anyone else.
Oh yeah,
they help curb match fixing.
Evan can probably stop
because we don't want match fixing. Like that's
I mean the technical side of match fixing is very interesting to me, just because I don't understand. And first of all, 3 things you've just said there, like money is trackable. I don't understand that element. I don't understand the concept of someone being able to, like, what's in it for them if you're a like standalone dodgy company, as we know they exist. What's in it for them for stopping match fixing?
Well, what's in it for them is basically protecting themselves, right? So they've taken a whole bunch of bets on one side or on one team, and so if that team wins, they have to make a massive payout. If the other team wins, they get to collect all the entire handle. So it's in their interest for the other side to win in that situation. And so that's why the bad actors are able to exploit that and turn a blind eye to it when it's existing.
So I mean, your question, you're asking why would an operator care to clean it up? Like why?
Yes, like as in why is it in the interest of the company to stop match fixing? And I guess you've just answered it by saying save money.
Yeah, well, so so to stop match fixing, and this goes back to the earlier question we were talking about us being in the out man and all the regulatory regime and stuff. There is no incentive really for a dodgy actor to clean up match fixing, because it usually helps them make money or balance the book that it does exist. Because if they're complicit and aware in it, they will take a ton of risk on, say they have a favorite and an underdog. So if an underdog pays out a huge amount of money and they have a lot of action on the underdog, for example, then they can help the underdog throw to make sure they take it all into the book, right? So.
Right. Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't want. They actually, if they have no regulatory oversight, so they're in a licensing regime that doesn't really give a shit, or if they're doing skins betting, which is completely unregulated, then there's no incentive for them to curb match fixing, which is why back to educating the community on why operators like us and licensing regimes like us matter.
It doesn't even have to be about regulation too. I mean, if you think about it from an industry perspective, if people get wind that there is match fixing happening, they're going to stop betting on esports. Just gonna, like, why would you bet if you know that there's a potential for it to be?
But this is out of your hands, right? So I mean, because
not though.
But the players are the ones that can choose if they want to throw the match. How is it in your hands in it anyway?
So because we work together with the tournament organizers and with the leagues, so that we get players banned. Once they're found, I mean, everyone that's been found has gotten like lifetime bans.
Yeah, well, that's a conversation in itself. Yeah.
Well, so also what I'd say is
you also can't stop bets.
Yeah. So if you see match fixing in traditional sports, on the traditional sports books, what happens is if everyone cross reports it into Texas, so we're part of ESIC, Esports Integrity Coalition, along with a few other sports books. If we all see it and report it and cross report it, you can actually just shut down the line and return the money. So we're actually exposed to no risk ourselves. Like if there was match fixing to be found in a particular line, we're not obligated to pay out people on the side of the match fixing and therefore compensate and reward them for participating and be complicit in match fixing. You actually just shut the line down and return the money. So there's no winner or loser.
I understand. Okay, so it's almost like it didn't happen. You just go, right, we genuinely don't know if this was legitimate. Here's everyone's money. Let's try again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not trying to get out of an obligation because we're part of a coalition with other legitimate bookmakers, and we all say the same thing. We say, hey guys, it was clear there was match fixing here. Here's the report. Here's what we saw. We just shut down the line, return the money, and that's it. Everybody walks away.
Does that lead to unhappy customers though? If there is, there's a legitimate Timmy over there who actually just wanted that team to win and they did.
It's about communication, right?
Yeah.
So you tell a player, listen, there was irregularities in this market, and we refunded everybody because it wasn't fair.
And a lot of time we do that before the match is over, so it's not like their team won and then we go. Oh, they won.
Before the match is even over.
Sometimes.
Okay.
It depends on-
That can happen, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And
a lot of it has to do with choosing the matches that have integrity. So one of the requirements of our license is that every game that we offer has to have integrity. So we look at the different stakes for tournaments. If it's $1,000 internet LAN tournament, that's
Not
probably
LAN.
not.
Right. So sorry. So Evan, you were going to say something. Sorry, what was it?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, and on the other hand, we have to protect ourselves as well, and that's what Ryan was getting into about not offering things that don't seem to be legitimate. And so we have our own integrity rating that is based on how much they're playing for. The historic integrity of the operators as well plays a big part into it. How well known the teams are that are competing in such tournament. We kind of look at all these things, and then that's how we decide whether we're going to offer a tournament or a match or not. And that's also how we protect ourselves. And also, not offering it doesn't provide an avenue for the players to fix.
Sure.
Markets offered.
Because I think that leads into my next question, which is you basically just answered it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. You must have to very carefully choose what tournaments you're going to be putting odds on, or what games you're going to be putting odds on, right? Because I think most of the fixing that went down, at least in the Counter-Strike universe, was when the payout from the fix was greatly outweighing the prize of succeeding, right? And I guess that immediately puts a player into a dilemma, a financial dilemma, I guess.
We're probably not going to see tier 3 Counter-Strike tournaments.
It just won't be on Rivalry.
Our site. We're just not going to offer odds for that.
Okay, that makes sense. And I mean, I guess that's...
Yeah, this probably won't surprise you, but like back to ESIC and being part of that group, what we have learned is for events under a $5,000 prize pool, whether it's Dota, CS, or whatever it is, there's actually syndicates of almost I would call it investors or groups that actually produce teams just to throw matches. Like there's actually groups of people that create teams solely for the purpose of match throwing.
You're kidding.
Yeah. So when it's a tier 3 event with a prize pool under $5,000 and a place with an operator with a less than clean past, I mean, there's potentially a team that was produced purely for the reason to go there and throw the match. That's it.
That blows my mind. I mean, there must be you must be more aware of the market than I am. Does that mean there is a market in match throwing? Like there is a full on people are making money from match throwing in esports now today.
Yeah.
Because the industry for tournament organizing is so varied. I mean,
of course, yeah.
Throw a tournament, right? But if they don't have a tier 1 caster like Alex here, probably not a legit integrity match,
Yeah, you're
okay.
a top integrity indicator.
Oh God, that's a scary prospect. That doesn't exist. Off the record, scratch it. No, but okay, so that's actually a very interesting point because there are a lot of tournaments. You could literally just have an investor with an ulterior motive. He could run a $200,000 event, and you have to have a direct dialogue with the tournament organizers. What I'm learning here. If you're putting odds up, is that always the case? No, not necessarily.
Like we guys have to assume like when there's tier 1 teams involved, like you're not going to get the tier 1 teams throwing.
Yeah, especially when the prize pool is as great as it is. That makes sense.
We might not offer particular teams for a tournament. So like group stages. Group stages are don't necessarily have as much integrity because
you've already made it through.
Yeah, you made it through, and you're like, oh well, we're not going to play that hard for this match. We're just not going to offer that because it's not that fun for.
No.
Yeah. So.
Like when you go into Swiss system and yeah, exactly. Okay, I understand. Yeah, and whose job is that? This is another one. I mean, this is probably a separate conversation altogether, Evan. Okay, because you
like even our integration with our bet provider and how you kind of manage that too. It's not just Evan; it's a pretty big.
I was going to say that's a lot for one man to try and work through.
So we work with an odds provider who help us decide whether we're going to accept or reject tickets based on a whole long list of items. But they're very involved in looking into this match fixing, seeing irregularities in the betting that's coming in. And so they're making decisions as well. And they're indicating to us like whether we should accept or reject tickets based on how much money we have coming in. And then also the things like the integrity. And so they can say, like we're not sure about this, so we're going to shut this down. So they can shut matches down on their end in terms of whether it's allowed to be bet on.
Okay, because I think as someone that's worked and I've hosted a desk and we have various bookkeepers putting their odds up. Sometimes I'm sitting there, I'm like, how have they got this on? Like, this makes no sense. Like, for example, like we've just sat on the desk and we've just been breaking it down, saying, actually, yeah, SK have lost cash 6 times in a row here, and I don't know why they keep picking it. And then you give SK like some juicy odds, and I'm sitting there like, this makes no sense. Like that. Is this odds? What did you call them? An odds provider?
Yeah. So
Is it just for esports specifically, and they're very good at it?
They're very good at it. What we find is that across the different operators, the odds do vary a lot. So you have traditional bookmakers that offer everything from NFL to tennis to volleyball. Like they'll put esports right in with right under volleyball.
Sure.
They don't care, right? So those guys are balancing it based on the math. They don't probably watch and spot matches and don't have the edge that you do. But they're trying to balance a book. They try and balance their book based on financial reasons, not skill.
Okay, so it's not necessarily always going to be representative of the chances of a team winning.
Exactly. It's representative of the market demand for people wanting to bet on either team, regardless of how likely either team is to win.
This is interesting. This is something that I, as someone that's never even dabbled, wouldn't understand initially.
But it's fascinating from a caster's perspective because you have a deep understanding of the teams and how they play, and you can see, listen, this market is offsides. What's going on here?
Dude, I mean, we are not allowed to. It's like a kind of rule set, of course. Like, as in when you have, because I mean, I literally share a hotel with these players, and I'm like, well, that guy's puking and dying in the back room. I wonder how he's going to play. Like that's, yeah. But I mean, the amount of times we sit there, we see the odds, and we just go, I mean, if I had £5, that could be 50. Sorry?
Fans is to find those opportunities, and maybe you can win because you not know that information. Like we never.
Because you see a tweet or Instagram story, and
maybe the edge, and maybe you win the match because you knew that SK lost cash the last 6 times, and we and the bookmaker did not. That's part of the game to play.
Too is the rumor mill that's happening around teams and stuff. And we can bring in their Twitter feeds and bring in different things so that players can, or so that fans can see, okay, there's something weird going on Twitter. I'm out. These guys aren't playing well this week. So.
Well, Counter-Strike at the moment, I wouldn't want to put a bet on anyone. Anyone can be anyone at this point in time. So good luck making odds. But yeah. Okay, this has actually been really, really interesting. I do have some more questions about the kind of the structure of a gambling website, though. One of the things that I've always found really interesting, and perhaps can be explained better by you guys, is the idea of a deposit bonus. The amount of times I get like a pop-up on wherever I'm scrolling through HLTV, and it's like, sign up and get €15 to play with right now, and I'm like, that sounds too good to be true, because you're just giving me free money. It is. Okay, walk me through it, Kevin.
It is. Yeah, I mean, that's something that it's a double-edged sword again. We pride ourselves on not doing that kind of stuff, but as a customer, it's great to see deposit €10, get €50, and you do get it in your account, but there's always a catch. You either have to bet on the underdog 5 times in a row, or make 50 bets minimum, and then if you have your bonus left, you can take it out. But
right,
they've structured it in such a way that you get the big bonus. By the time you complete the fine print, the bonus probably isn't there. So we could do the same thing, but if I was a customer doing that and I got my bonus and I went and played and I tried to withdraw and I couldn't, and they said, well, you have to do this first, that would be very frustrating. Trying to create an experience that doesn't do that. So we have bonuses, but when we offer you a $5 bonus, it's just $5. Here you go. You can go withdraw it right away if you want. You can bet with it. We try to do as little or no fine print as possible. I think that's really important because we can try to get you to be a customer with a huge lucrative bonus that's not really a bonus. We'd rather treat you well so when you actually get the bonus and you realize like it's a real thing. You're like, oh,
sure,
that's much better. I enjoy this.
So let me role play as a customer here who's watching this video now. I'm immediately go, that makes no sense. Why would I sign up, get $5 and be able to withdraw it? You're just giving people $5 for free. Is the idea like, so these deposit bonuses always just feel like it's like a, hey man, you can have your first hit for free. This kind of back alley stuff.
Our deposit bonuses are essentially that. Like as long as you've passed the KYC process and you're able to deposit, we've determined that you are eligible to participate in our website. So maybe one day you'll come back. So we'll give you the deposit bonus. It's not going to be significant. It's going to be less than $5. Like you're
sure.
Gonna get, but what we want you to do, hopefully, is place a couple bets and see if it works.
Have fun, hopefully, and then play more.
Yeah. If it doesn't work, and we want you to hopefully use the $5 or the $1 or $2 of bonus to see how betting works without being on the line for that risk.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So it's like a demo of a game. Yeah. If in a really, in a way.
I think like what we've found with the market that we're targeting is, again, we're not looking for the whales that have been betting on stuff for a long time. We're looking for the guy that's a legitimate fan that wants to be a little excited as he watches esports. So found that person probably has never bet in their life. So just going through the process of going through a legitimate gambling site, doing the KYC, all that kind of stuff. When you get to the end of that path, which can feel like a lot of friction versus what you're used to, we'll give you something with no strings attached. So you can at least just play the game of betting, see if you like it, see if you're interested without putting your own money at risk. So it's just, it's just creating the least friction at the end point and without having to get you to put your own money in at first, just to try it out and just see how it works.
Perfect. And I'm just trying to go through, like, if there's any other, like, frequently asked questions that I can think of that, a customer would be sitting there saying, I wonder if. Have you guys, like, done an FAQ before? Is there anything that would be interesting to kind of talk about?
I mean, some of the bigger KYC, the bigger questions that people have is always, why are you asking for so much information from me? Right. So
this is the process you've been referring to. I guess can we outline what it is that you need?
We have to do identity verification. And it's required and should be required by everybody to have players that are over 18 and reside in a region that supports gambling. Right.
With your Isle of Man license.
With our license, so our license has to be applicable to them, right?
Of course, yeah, understood.
So they have to fill out a basic address and name, phone number field.
Prove you're a human being.
Yeah, prove you're a human being. And then also for a lot of countries, we need them to upload identity document. So if it's a driver's license or passport or national ID card, every country has different rules. This goes through a third party, and it's highly protected and secure.
You can ensure that their personal information is safe.
Say they are.
Yeah, make sure they are who they say they are, and make sure they're not a protected person or. Yeah.
Okay, I just don't want to breeze past that. We will continue, but I don't want to breeze past the personal information security, because I know, especially right now in the news, everyone is very, very interested in their personal information being secure. So I don't know who can answer this, but what is it you're doing to ensure that my picture of my passport isn't going around the internet on the dark web for some silly price?
So we use a third-party service, and the information is actually not stored on our equipment.
It's not on your servers. Okay.
It's never on our servers. So you go through the third party's system, upload the documents. They have a team that are bonded and licensed that verify the documents for authenticity. Make sure that you look like who you say you look like you are.
Okay, so it's just basically a fake ID checker as well as everything else. Yeah.
Fake ID checker. The bouncer at the club. Right?
Yeah, no, mate. I don't like your shoes. Get out of here.
Yeah, and then what we get back is a true or false statement and a hash that we can tell the regulator, listen, this is, if you need to go look this up, we can go look it up another time, so it's archived.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just similar to a lot of like the crypto sites. We use some of the similar KYC providers where if you're ever trying to sign up for a crypto exchange, you got to take a picture of, like, a code with your face, or you got to send a picture of your ID. It's the same stuff where you have to prove your identity. You are who you say you are, the country you say you are. And I'll just super quickly, the reason for that is because I've been much more involved kind of on the team on the regulatory side. Each individual country, they look at it almost like a vice industry. So you have like booze, tobacco, gambling, where each country, and even provincially in each country, like in Canada, for example, it's viewed and regulated differently. So every country has different obligations to allow its citizens to participate in online gambling, how it's marketed, all this kind of stuff. So we adhere to all those obligations. And It just means typically that we need to prove that the person is who they say they are in the country they say that they're from, that they're over 18, they live where they say they live, and all this kind of stuff to meet all those obligations.
Okay, understood. So basically, this entire thing is sorry, Kevin.
I said that in this video, and it's part of an educational process. Like for a customer, you can go use this other site that has a less license, and you don't have to do any of that. So that's pretty lucrative. Whereas us, we ask for a lot more information. It's more friction. We're trying to help customers understand why you have to do this. You're going to be taking 10 years, and we're not going to run with your money. I'm not saying that people will run with your money, but like, yeah, there's a little bit more to us. So it's more friction, but it's safer for the customer.
So your angle is the long-term angle. That's the idea.
We're not going anywhere.
Okay, understood. So basically, yeah, you're not looking for the one guy who just has one knife he wants to throw away and he wants the money in his account and out and in and out. Like it's more of a, I occasionally want to get excited about Cloud9.
Yeah,
this is the process.
People place lots of little bets. Like
Lots of little bets. Yeah.
It's not as exciting if they lose all their money in one go, right? So Evan's has been working on a lot of educational material to help people understand how to keep their balance as long as possible.
Sure. Like when my friends tried to explain roulette to me in Vegas, and I just.
How'd that go for you?
Well, I sat there and I said, look, black, red, right? That's easy, right? So it's a 50-50 chance. It's a coin flip. And then I'm like, perfect. It's been red 6 times. It has to be black at some point. There's my chips. And the coin didn't flip.
You should have managed your bankroll better.
Yeah, look, okay, there's some. I wasn't really of a clear mind at the time, but it wasn't a good experience for me. So that's interesting. So that was we kind of got a bit sidetracked, but the main discussion there was it's going to take longer, but it's more secure for the identification process.
We have a big history in internet security, so our team is very focused on making sure that people's information is secure. It's a big deal for us, and we have a number of processes. I don't want to go into the details of them, but there's a lot of processes that are in place to make sure that information isn't exposed to our staff, information isn't exposed, like there's different layers in order to expose your information internally,
sure,
as well as keep it encrypted while it's on our servers.
Makes sense. And that was of course we started that conversation with the frequently asked questions, and that was one of them, right? Why does it take so long to me to sign up? What else would we add to that list? Is there anything that springs to mind?
That's the main one. The deposit bonus one is another really big one.
That is another big one for people, yeah. Deposit bonuses. I guess I could question. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you had something.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask, like, you're doing stuff that isn't betting as well, right? Like, as in, I'm here for a reason. We're going to be pumping out some content, right? You're going to be you're aiming to be more than just a place you go to gamble. I was interested to know what, even from a personal standpoint, what's Rivalry going to be when we I type in that URL in like a year? Are you going to try and go in different directions?
That's some of the best and most exciting part for us is that we think that traditional media and has a hard time. Journalism has a hard time on the internet because of their need for advertisements. And no one, I mean, especially in gaming, people have ad blocker. Like 80% of people have ad blocker, right? So
sure.
Making ad revenue is probably not going to do too well for content creators, right? So we hope that utilizing some of the revenues from gaming, from gambling, we can produce really good content, right? We want to create some of the best content for fans.
Yeah, our whole goal is to make esports more fun. Betting just one of those ways. Like,
sure,
plenty of ways to enjoy it. Getting to know the players, doing interviews, things like that. It's like we have quite a big offering, and betting just kind of it's the way we make money. But there's a whole lot of other things we can do, and a different future kind of roadmap we're working on that's more than betting as well. And our whole goal is just make esports more fun for everybody.
And that gambling, the small bets, is the backbone of financing the rest of your adventures.
Sports betting is a proven business model that makes money for a very, very long time. I think what it provides a funnel for us to monetize eyeballs on the site in a way that is more effective than traditional.
Understood.
Like that. So I think for us, it provides a way to monetize a user that is effective and allows us to recycle it and funnel it back into community efforts, which are things that we've been doing as a team for a pretty long time in esports. So It's mostly about that for us.
Interesting. And I guess the kind of the bottom line, and I think where it would be a good place to end it, is just to quickly explain, how does Rivalry make money? Like, you're not doing anything crazy, but I think just having a really clear answer to how on earth does this website make money would be a good place to kind of put the full stop.
Yep.
Super simple.
So the main way that we make money is we collect what's called a margin or rake or vig on our bets. And the way we do that is we price the bets a little lower than what they should be in theory. So the best example of this is, say you're flipping a coin, if you bet $1 and you won, we would pay you out $2. So, and that would be if it was fair, right? And so instead of doing that, if you bet $1 and you win on heads, we would pay you out $1.90. So we're just taking a very small rip on every single bet.
Okay.
Say in an esports match, we collect $100 in bets on a match, and then we only pay out 95 to the winning side. So now we've kept our little small rip on top, and we pay the one side that we need to pay.
I understand. It's the same thing with like all of the other websites where like, yeah, your skin is worth 370, you're getting 360. We're taking 360 value. But yeah, sorry, yeah. But yeah, as an example, okay, I understand.
So margins are anywhere from 4 to 10%. So we fall somewhere in that range. And for the super high risk stuff, it's on the higher end. The lower risk bets, so we may not, it's on the
and that's an algorithm, that's a formula that's been established. And
you can type it into Google and find anywhere. We also have instructional videos or educational videos where we talk about it. It's a pretty simple calculation where you can just take the odds and you can actually see what the margin is baked in for the bookmaker. Like it's in the line itself, you can see it.
Interesting. I wonder how many betting companies explain that. I feel like you guys are doing something a little different with that.
Yeah, no, there's a few. Like I think Pinnacle, for example, is one that it's kind of part of their motto is stuff like that. So they actually have a calculator on the site where you can just go margin calculator, betting margin calculator. There's tons of these, and you just put in either side. It'll tell you exactly what it is.
How much that they are making from that particular match.
Any bookmaker, any line, yeah. All you need is either side.
See, look, this is a whole world I didn't even understand or comprehend. So that's actually really helpful. Thanks, guys.
That's part of our mission, is to make sure people understand that.
Yeah, we want to demystify it for sure. Like, I think that's like, I'm not a gambler either. Like, I didn't start to get in this because I'm a gambler. Like, so it was a huge education for me. And what I found with other sports books is it was so complicated. Like, they've got numbers everywhere, and you just don't know where to start. I just want to kind of pick my team and kind of understand what's going to happen. And we wanted to essentially make it for
simplify
dummies like me, like that can just show up, pick Cloud9 and win, right?
Yeah, okay, I understand. I get the whole simplification process to the point where, like, if I was interested, all I would have to do, I don't have to worry about if I'm getting my money, when I get my money, how I even place a bet. You're basically just trying to make it like, we're going to make money from this regardless if you win or lose. Have some fun.
Yep. And that's, to kind of wrap things up, that's kind of our whole value prop after kind of all is said and done, is we are esports fans and gamers that have made a gambling site. So we think we can create an authentic, easy to use experience, as opposed to gambling sites that are trying to just add esports in another vertical. So we'll see if customers can appreciate our personal touch more than others, but that's part of what we're trying to do, is make something for gamers, because it's actually by people that watch the matches.
Yeah.
Cool. And we know all your names and faces now, so don't go running away to the Isle of Man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we should call it there. Thank you so much for everyone at Rivalry, and I've just been sitting here at my house talking about gambling and learning a lot about gambling as well. So this has been fun. Is there anything that the guys? So last thing, viewers, if they were interested in Rivalry, where do you go?
Rivalry GG.
Rivalry.gg. That was easy. Good job, everyone. All right, we'll see you guys around. And this has been Machine hanging out with the Rivalry crew.
Take care. Thanks.